Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the moon square or opposition Jupiter in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They're a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, well, first thing up, if you have the moon square or opposition Jupiter in a natal chart, there may be difficulty in attaining that need, which is the moon, to expand horizons, which is Jupiter. It could be what you're comfortable in may conflict, with trying to get outside the box, so to speak. If Jupiter is in, Aquarius, say, there may be, one may expand horizons. It could be through astrology or astronomy, computers, electronics, meteorology, aviation, innovation is some examples. But the thing is, there can be, more conflict in doing so. It could be just simply where the mood is not often there to do this, to expand one's horizons. And the thing too is there may also be, difficulty finding the enthusiasm and the exuberance, which is Jupiter, to attain one's emotional needs, which is the moon. The moon is in Aries, as an example. Those emotional needs, may be tied in, with things. Could be the military, doing something with that leadership in general, whether it's at a job position or whether it's, just simply exhibiting, leadership prowess and ability. It could be, some, type Aries, could be some Aries, field or profession, which can include welding, carpentry, as I stated before, the military, something with combat or volatile sports, as, some examples. And the thing too is, if you have the moon square opposite Jupiter natal chart, another way this may manifest could be where, you may really, sometimes you may exuberantly express the emotions. Exuberance is Jupiter, and emotions, of course, is the moon. Or it could be not at all. You might be over enthusiastic and feeling over optimistic regarding certain things at times. Then other times you might not feel, any, kind of enthusiasm or exuberance in whatever it is, you're doing. If the moon is in Gemini, those feelings and emotions can be manifold. Gemini moon can be about, emotional versatility. I have my moon in Gemini in my natal chart, so of course I would know something, about that. And if the moon is in Scorpio, it could be really, those powerful, intense emotions, sometimes though convoluted. And it could also be, if you have, one of these aspects in your natal chart, another way it may be expressed is that, the expression, I should say, if you feel, I should say, like you may sometimes feel, like, or not, I should say, I'm sorry, have trouble feeling, which is like expressing, your philosophies and beliefs, which is Jupiter. There might be difficulty finding that temperament, that mood, in order to do this. If you have Jupiter in Aquarius, as an example, it could be rather, unorthodox, unconventional philosophies and beliefs. If Jupiter is in Capricorn, as another example, those beliefs may be more conventional, more orthodox. They may often be tied in with the government or politics, or, about, connected with one's, social status, stature in life, as some examples. Now, also, too, another way the moon square or opposite Jupiter may manifest in a natal chart is that there may be difficulty in terms of nurturing and caring, which is the moon, for in-laws, and foreigners, which is Jupiter. Now let's say if Jupiter is in Taurus as an example, those people, may actually, one or more may actually be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sun. It could be, people that are rather patient, persevering, persistent. Um, could be those that are trustworthy, loyal, steadfast, but at the same time, these people may also be stubborn, obstinate, and even, materialistic. Uh, Now, another thing too about these aspects, if you have the moon square or opposition Jupiter in a natal chart, it could also be having, there may be difficulty if you're trying to, say transition, the home, which is the moon, to a foreign country, which is, Jupiter. If you have, Jupiter in Capricorn as an example, going, to a foreign country to live may be tied in, with one's career, or business. Jupiter in Aquarius could be more of an unusual, place. Um, One that may occur, very spontaneously. Jupiter in Gemini may be manifold places. You know, um, it could be, because Gemini is connected with variety of Jupiters and Taurus as another example. It could be a place where you're seeking, peace, tranquility, creature comforts as, some examples. Now, but there may be more difficulty in having that home there, whether, it's some travel restrictions or whatever. It could be monetary issues. Another thing about these aspects in a natal chart is it could be where the mother and people that you're close to home with, which is the moon, may not be, quite in agreement, with higher education choices and philosophies, which is Jupiter. Now let's say if you have your Jupiter in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, higher education courses may be tied in, with home remodeling, renovation, real estate, culinary, cooking, something with restaurant work, or something connected with, studying to, to being like a laundry or plumbing, business, or home caregiver as, some examples. And the thing too is, also, if you have, one of these aspects in your natal chart, should guard against, distorting and enlarging, which is Jupiter one's reactions, which is the moon, to things. If the moon is in Gemini, say, it could be very, high-strung, excitable, type reactions. The moon in Aquarius could be really unpredictable, unexpected, and shocking. As an example, moon in Taurus can be like, even though the moon in Taurus tends to be very, stable in terms of their emotions, moon in Taurus can also explode if, provoked to the point of one's endurance after protracted goading. So you need to be, careful, if you have this aspect in terms of overreacting, distorting reactions to, things. Now another thing too is that, if you have one of these aspects in your chart, is that Jupiter related people, I'm sorry, well, first I want to talk about, there may be a tendency, if you have one of these aspects to, overindulge in terms of, and be excessive, which is Jupiter, in matters with your food. And, moon is in Aries, it might be some spicy food, where you're eating in a hurry. Moon in Gemini can be, variety, manifold, things you could be eating. The moon in Cancer can be more, like, nostalgic, mom's home cooking, food that you've eaten, which again could be nostalgic, which can be tied in with your past or something, that your family members used to make you. So it's really, you got to be careful as far as that goes, as far as overindulgence and excess regarding food. And also too, is that Jupiter related people, may not be compatible with your unconscious side. And Jupiter related people can include, in-laws, foreigners, or people that are in, Jupiterian profession, whether it be college teaching, publishing, advertising, printing press operations, sports, as some examples. If you have your, say if your moon is in Virgo, that unconscious side, can be one that's very orderly, organized, systematic, methodical, one that is very punctilious with details, but may at the same time be judgmental and critical as well. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.